Welcome back, students. Good morning. This is your computer science teacher back with you. Students, yesterday also I had requested you to kindly go through the assignments which are given to you and please complete these assignments on time and submit it to the email ID which is given on the assignments page on time. You can download these assignments from the school's website and you can complete it. All the questions given in the assignments are from the syllabus that we have studied till now. So please go through the assignments. So today, students, we are uh, continuing the same chapter. As we all know that the chapter computer network is very long chapter, and we have a lot of topics which are to be covered. But all the topics that I have covered, only those topics are given in the assignments. So please do not panic. Just go through these slides again, and you will find all the questions, answers to the questions in the slides itself. So today we'll start with, uh, in fact, continue with the same chapter, that is computer networks. The topic that we are going to take today is wireless communication. That is the wireless technology. We have studied about the types of networks that we have. uh, you know uh, there are two types, wired and wireless. So about the wired networks we have studied, and the the scope and the topics which are to be covered in the wired network is quite short. But in case of wireless communication or wireless network, we have a lot of topics that are to be covered. So what exactly is wireless communication? Now, wireless communication involves the transmission of information over a distance without the help of wires, cable, or any other form of electrical conductors. So, what basically is a wireless communication? Wireless communication is transfer of information from one system to another system without the help of wires, cables, or any other electrical medium. Now, wireless communication, as I told you, is a very broad term. It incorporates all the procedures and forms of connecting and communicating between two or more devices using a wireless signal through wireless communication technologies and devices. So basically, the wireless communication involves a medium which is wireless, that is uh, the transfer of information from one device to another device is wireless. There is no physical connection between the two devices. And second thing, it involves the devices which support the wireless communication technology. That means the devices should be capable of receiving and sending the wireless signals. Now, as you can see in the picture, we have so many devices which could be connected through the wireless medium. Now, what are the features of wireless communication? Now, the features of wireless communications, we have a lot of features which are in the wireless communication. Now, we are going to discuss only the primary features of the wireless communication. Now, the evolution of wireless technology has brought many advancements with its effective features. So, when this technology was evolved, at that time it was not very, popular, or we could not uh, attach or connect too many devices, or for not we could not communicate for very longer distances. But as the technology enhanced and had improved, we are able to connect globally. The transmitted distance can be anywhere between a few meters and thousands of kilometers. So, as we see of now, the transmission, of information or anything over the network or over the wireless network could be in a few meters to thousands of kilometers across the globe. Now, the wireless communication can be used for cellular telephony, wireless access to the internet, wireless home networking, and so on. There are so many applications of this wireless technology. We can connect, you know, our mobile phones to the satellite or some other network, and access to the internet. We can access the internet through this wireless technology, and we can have a small pan, that is personal area network in a house. We can connect our laptops, our mobile phones with each other for information exchange. Other examples of application of radio wireless technology include GPS units, that is the global positioning system units, garage door openers. Some of the features are we could operate some doors with the help of wireless technology through a remote wireless computer mice. We can operate a mouse uh, in a computer with the help of wireless technology, keyboards, and headsets, that is the earphones or the headphones that we use as of now. Then radio receivers, we have radio transistors at our houses. Then satellite televisions, the cable network that we see, the broadcast television, and cordless telephones. So cordless telephones also. So many devices are there which include or which uses the wireless technology. Now, what are the advantages of a wireless communication? Now, the advantages of wireless communication over wired network. What is the main major advantages? Now, wireless communication involves transfer of information without any physical connection between two or more points, as we studied. Because of this absence of any physical infrastructure, wireless communication has certain advantages. So, because there is no physical connection between the two devices, so the connection is not limited to an a particular area or a particular point. Now, this would often include collapsing distance or space. So again, uh, uh, as I've told you earlier also, that this would uh, uh, you know break the boundaries of having certain distances, or some other area or a point. So all these limitations are overcome with the help of wireless communications. Now, wireless communication has several advantages. Now, the most important advantage we are going to discuss now. First is cost effectiveness. Now, wired communication entails use of connection wires. In wireless networks, communication does not require elaborate physical infrastructure or maintenance practices. Hence, the cost is reduced. So, in case of wireless networks, first of all, there is no physical media, which is required. Only a few devices are required, and that is why the cost of setting up the network as well as the maintenance of the network is quite easy as well as cost effective. Now, flexibility of communicating, connecting in the network is quite easy in this case, and flexible. Anytime you can connect to the network, anytime you can disconnect from the network. So this is the main advantage of having a wireless communication. So wireless communication enables people to communicate regardless of their location. So wherever you are located, that does not matter. The main thing is that you should be connected to a particular network, and through this wireless network only we are able to connect globally. No, suppose if you do not have the satellites network, then we were not able to connect to any other country or any other state or any other city also. We would be limited to a particular building or a campus only, because we cannot have wires spanning through the oceans and throughout the globe. Then miners in the outback can rely on satellite phones to call their loved ones, and thus help improve their general welfare by keeping them in touch with people who mean the most the most to them. So because of this wireless technology, now we can stay connected to our near and dear ones anywhere at any moment of time, without thinking that they are staying or present at a particular location, as in the case of wired network. Just imagine a telephone landline which we used to have earlier also, and if at a certain point of time we need to connect to a particular person, and if he is not there at the location of the landline, then we are not able to communicate. But in case of wired technology, we can connect to anybody, anywhere, at any point of time. Now, wireless communication advantages again continued. So, second thing is convenience. Again, it is an advantage that this technology facilitates you to communicate with anybody at your own convenience. That means you can connect to anybody at any point of time, from anywhere, at any situation. So there is no need to physically connect anything in order to receive or pass messages. So nothing you need, you just need a wireless device through which you can connect to the particular person you want to talk to. Now speed. Now we can see, as there is no deterioration or degradation in the signals in case of the wireless networks as compared to the physical networks, where the wires have their own resistance, and through which we have the quality of the signals go down if we are communicating over a very long network. So this does not we do not encounter such situation in the wireless technology. Accessibility. The wireless technology helps easy accessibility, as the remote area where ground lines cannot be properly laid are being easily connected to the network. So this is the most important benefit of the wireless technology. Somewhere where it is very uh, difficult to lay down the uh, 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 physical wires or cables, uh, there we can utilize the wireless technology. As we can see, we have mountains, we have so many rivers, and so many things are involved, and any area through which we cannot connect with the help of physical line, we cannot go across the oceans, we cannot lay cabling system throughout the ocean to connect to a particular network or some other country. So here we have got disadvantage through the wireless technology. Then constant connectivity. Now the constant connectivity ensures that people can respond to emergencies relatively quickly. So as I mentioned earlier also, that when we were connected through a physical medium, that is landline, then we could not uh, communicate to anyone, maybe most of the times, in case of any emergency, because maybe that person is not available near the landline. So now this limitation has been removed from here, and now we can connect to anybody at any point of time. Despite so many advantages, a little bit of disadvantages are also there in the wireless technologies. The very first thing, it requires extra cost and equipment to set up. Now, as compared to the wired technology, we require some sophisticated, uh, you know, equipments also to set up a wireless network. Now, file sharing transfer speeds are normally slower with wireless networks than they are with cabled. Now, in case of wireless technologies, if the connectivity or if there is some natural interferences like cloudy or some other type of situations, the networks or the file sharing in the network becomes very slow. The general speed of wireless connection is also usually much slower than a wired one. So this is sometimes or the most of the times when a wireless network is filled with a lot of traffic, then we experience a slower speed as compared to the cable network, where despite of the network traffic, the speed performance is quite fast. Now wireless connections can be obstructed by everyday household items and structures such as walls, ceilings, and furniture. So traveling of these signals, wireless signals, can be obstructed by wire, these walls, some doors, and some any other, type of, furniture or some, devices or the, household items that we have at our houses. Now, wireless networks are generally less secure. So, the wireless networks can be, cracked or hacked very quickly as compared to the wired network. So, in the terms of security, however, we have a strong security checks over the wireless network also, but still it is very easy to hack or track the security in a wireless connection. Now, if an access point fails and there isn't good a mesh setup, the cost of failure could be high. Now, if the network is, a type of network in which the nodes are dependent on other nodes, that means it do not have a mesh type of network, then if you know some network fails, then it may shut down the whole of the network. Now, what are the various components that we use, uh, you know, um, in a wireless network? Now, there are two types of components basically that we have to have in our devices. First is the antenna. Antenna, as we all know, is a type of sender and a receiver medium through which we can send and receive signals from a remote station. Then we have a network interface card, that is the LAN card or the network interface card that has to be installed in the device whichever we are using, may it be your computer, desktop, or laptop, or tablet, or mobile phone. Now, a major part of wireless LAN include a radio NIC that operates within the computer device and provides wireless connectivity. Now, the main thing is the wireless NIC card or the LAN card, which is installed or which is included as a standard equipment in the remote computer. Now, when we have this type of NIC, that is wireless compatible NIC, in our device, then only we are able to connect to a network. Now these network are this NIC or the LAN card has some international standard that it has to follow, like we have studied about the various types of protocols which are a universal standard. Similarly, we have the hardware also, which is of international standard. Now this type of hardware, which is which is used to connect a device wirelessly to another device, are known as 802.11a or 802.11b. So these are also known as access points or Wi-Fi technology that we use in our day-to-day networks, and they are certified by the by an international organization, that is IEEE, that is the Institute of Electrical and Electronic Engineers. Now, the radio cards comes in variety of form factors, including ISA, PCI, PC card, mini PCI. So we have a lot of, a wide variety of LAN cards which can be fitted in the device with the help of, you know, these NIC cards, and uh, we can connect to the network. But the PDA's laptops use PC card, mini PCI, and CF adapters. So in compact devices, we use a different type of wireless technology cards, and in the desktops also we use different types of cards. So there are wide variety of these LAN cards which are available to to connect a device wirelessly to another device. Now, what are the software components? First of all, we have the software components known as drivers. Now, drivers are the uh, uh, you know particular files which introduce a particular device and its specifications to the operating system. Now, see, uh, drivers providing abstraction required by the operating system and implementing function. In computing, a device driver is a computer program that operates or controls a particular type of device that is attached to a computer. So basically, a device driver is a type of file or a program which is required to operate a particular device by the operating system. So it contains all the necessary information to have the interaction or an interface with the particular device. Without a device driver, we cannot use a particular device. Now, firmware. Firmware is a hardware or a particular sort of mini device which is attached to a particular device so that it is able to connect to a network in a wireless mode. So, so firmware is a network card implemented transport oriented protocols. So network card is a particular card or device which is uh, you know following the specifications laid down by the IEEE wireless format. Now, types of wireless networks. So now there are a wide variety of wireless networks. The first variety is wireless PAN. As we can see, we use the mobiles, and in mobiles we have a feature known as your particular hotspot. So hotspot is a type of feature in which through which we can connect our mobile or give access to our mobile's network to other devices which are very close to the this mobile network. Apart from this, we have the Bluetooth also, where we can connect to devices with the help of Bluetooth capability. So all this type of network is considered as wireless PAN, that is wireless personal area network. Then we have a wireless LAN. Now the wireless LAN is again a type of LAN, local area network, which is created with the help of some device which could connect the nodes in a particular LAN without any physical, connectivity between them. That means without the help of cables, it can connect all the device to the network. So for this purpose, we use the access point or the AP to connect to the internet, which is of the IEEE standard 802.11. So this technology is also known as the Wi-Fi technology, and the device which is used to connect to a Wi-Fi is the access point. Now, wireless ad hoc network. Now, what is an ad hoc network? Ad hoc network is a type of network which connects a particular device to its own network, that is temporarily. So that is the means of ad hoc is for a certain period of time or temporarily. This is known as ad hoc network. So in case of mobile technology, if we are moving from one place to another place, we cannot stay connected to a particular tower through which we were connected. So when we are passing through a particular area, then we have several towers which we have as we pass by. So all these towers begin to send signals to our mobile phones. That means we are connected to many towers in between from the source point where we had started until we reach the destination. So all the networks which we are connected to in between of transit from one place to another place is the ad hoc network. So this is the wireless ad hoc network. Now wireless MAN. Now the MAN is the metropolitan area network. So uh, connecting uh, multiple areas or connecting multiple cities to each other is known as MAN. And when we do this connection with the help of any wireless technology, then it is known as wireless MAN. Example of wireless MAN is WiMAX, that is the telephone or cellular phone towers that we experience when we move from one place to another place, and we move from one city to another city. We are connected to the WiMAX technology. Then we have wireless WAN. The wireless WAN includes where we can connect to different cities, different states, and different countries with each other. And this wireless, uh, WAN is connected with the help of some, radars and different types of, base stations, gateways, access points, and bridging relays. Now, this type of technology utilizes a microwave type of network where we send signals from one tower to another tower, and likewise we connect to different uh, you know uh, you know networks around the globe. Then we have a cellular network. Now cellular network or the mobile network is a radio network. So one thing we should be knowing that our mobile network works on radio waves, that is the radio network technology. And this type of network is in form of cells, as you can see in the diagram, that in the rural areas we have several towers, and these several towers could be connected to each other and they form a cell structure. So this type of structure is known as a cell structure, where the rural areas have towers installed at longer distances as compared to the urban structures where the uh, you know towers are installed at shorter distances. Then we have you know, again, the cellular network that comprises of different types of technologies or the components, which include you know the very first component that we include in the cellular network is the GSM, that is the global system for mobile communications. The GSM is the type of technology that is used to connect to the network. As we all see that we use a SIM card to connect a mobile phone to a network. So this SIM card uses a particular type of frequency to connect to the network. So this particular uh, system of communication is known as the GSM. Uh, there are some other systems also which can be used for this type of network that we are going to study later on. Now, personal communication service, that is PCS. So PCS is a radio band which can be used by mobile phones in North America and South Asia. Sprint happened to be the first service to set up a PCS. So this is again a type of networking which uses a different type of bandwidth to connect devices within a particular range. So this type of technology uh, is prominent in North America and South Asia. Now, DAMS, Digital Advanced Mobile Phone Service, an upgraded version of AMPS is being phased out without the advancement in the technology. The newer GSM networks are replacing the older system. So, DAMP is an advanced type of, GSM which uses a higher frequency to connect to the network. Then we have a global area network. The global area network is used for supporting mobile across an arbitrary number of wireless LAN satellite coverage areas. So we can connect a LAN, particular LAN, with the help of satellite around the globe. So that is why it is known as the global area network, and it is uh, a type of 802, that is the Wi-Fi project, which has been working uh, 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 in the wireless LANs. Now space area network are used for communication between spacecraft, usually for in the vicinity of the earth. So whenever a rocket or some other type of device is sent to the space for communication, then this type of communication uses a different type of signals and bandwidth or frequency. So this is covered under the space area network. Now, what are the various terms used in mobile or cellular networks? The first term is the mobile station. The mobile station communicates the information with the user and modifies it to the transmission protocols of the air interface to communicate with the BSS, the base station service. So the user information communicates with the mobile station through a microphone and speaker for the speech, keyboard and display for the short messaging, and cable connection for the other data terminals. The mobile station has two elements: mobile equipment and subscriber identity module. So the mobile station is physically your mobile only, in which you have two subcomponents, that is the instrument which is able to receive and send the signals in analog form, and the subscriber identification module, that is the SIM card, which is mandatory to connect to a network. Now, what is mobile equipment? Mobile equipment is a piece of hardware that the customer purchases from the equipment manufacturer. So mobile equipment is the mobile phone that we purchase from the market to connect to the technology wirelessly. Then we have the SIM card. So no, buying a mobile instrument or the mobile equipment is not sufficient to connect to a network. you need to have a subscriber identification module, that is the SIM card, to connect to a network. Now this particular SIM card is used to identify a particular mobile equipment uniquely throughout the globe. So any call which is made to a particular subscriber identification module is received by that particular person only. That is why we have a unique number, mobile number, which we call a unique number, and this unique number, when dialed, reaches to the particular person only. So dialing somebody else's number and the call is not diverted to somebody else. This is due to the SIM module. Now SMS uh, are also stored in SIM card. It carries every user's personal information, which enables a number of useful applications. Now we have different type of SMSs through which we can store our information, our personal information within the SIM card. Now base station. The base station transmits and receives user data. The base station is the actual tower that we are connected to, and when we send or receive any signal, it is with the help of base station only that we are able to communicate. Now based transceiver station. The base transceiver station uh, is a medium, or is an mediatory situation where the base station or your telephone service provider and the user of the telephone service are connected to each other. That is the mobile towers that we have. Now the mobile switching center, that is MSC, is the hardware part of wireless switch that can communicate with PSTN switches using the signaling system 7 protocol, as well as the other MCs in the coverage area of the service provider. Now, whenever we connect to a network, the base station has the wireless network in a particular area. So when we are within the span of that area, then uh, you know um, apart from our base station, then we are using the mobile switching center. That means from one place, if we are traveling to another place, then we are switching the base stations. We are not in the home base station, and this is what is mobile switching center. Now wireless communication, multiple access. Now multiple access schemes are used to allow any mobile user to share simultaneously a finite amount of radio spectrum. Now see, if we are able to send a wide range of frequencies through our mobile systems, so this is known as multiple access techniques. So in wireless communication, it is desirable to allow subscriber to send information simultaneously from the mobile station to the base station, while receiving information from the base station to the mobile station. So when we are, suppose if we are chatting to somebody else, then we are receiving the signals as well as we are sending the signals. So this type of accession is known as multiple access. So for this purpose, we have to have a very wide variety of bandwidth. Now this type of multiple access uh, you know channels, we have four types of multiple accesses: frequency division multiple access, time division multiple access, code division multiple access, and space division multiple access. Now what is frequency division multiple access? Now frequency division is the most basic technology which is used. It is also known as FDMA. It allots a different subband of frequency to each different user to access the network. Now this type of technology uses different technology for different user. That means it allocates different frequencies to different type of user. If FDMA is not in use, the channel is left idle instead of allotting to other users. Now, if the user is not using the frequency, that then that frequency is not allotted to anybody else. Rather, it is reserved for that particular user only. Now, FDMA is implemented in narrow band systems and it is less complex than TDMA. So FDMA is a technology which we do not use anymore. Now this is a type of narrowband system where we had a very less uh, you know variety of bandwidth that we used. Now tight filtering is done here to reduce adjacent channel interface. So a good type of filtering was required here so that the frequencies do not match, because if the frequencies matched, then there is a risk of collision of the communication. The base station and the mobile station transmit and receive simultaneously and continuously in FDMA. Now, in this case, the base station and the mobile stations are concurrently working at the same time. Now, time division multiple access, that is TDMA. TDMA uh, um, is a technology where we use where continuous, signaling is not required, where continuous transmission is not required. Now, TDMA shares a single carrier frequency with several users, where each users make use of non-overlapping time slots. Now, here the technology is a little bit different. The TDMA technology is a single carrier. That means on a single particular frequency, there are multiple users, and there are some, time slots through which there is no collision of any communication. Data transmission in TDMA is not continuous but occurs in bursts. Hence, hands-off process is simpler. So, in the TDMA technology, the data transmission is not constant or continuous. Therefore, it occurs when a particular device becomes active only. Then only the communication starts. Therefore, the hands-off process is similar. That means when one device is active and is trying to communicate only, then only communication operates. TDMA uses different time slots for transmission and reception, thus duplexers are not required. So TDMA, they are using different frequencies or time slots for sending the data and receiving the data. Therefore, uh, you know uh, uh, duplexers, that is a kind of device, is not required. Now TDMA has an advantage that it is possible to allocate different numbers of time slots as per frame to the different users. Now TDMA has an advantage because, as we have studied earlier in this slide, that is it uses a single frequency to be allocated to different users of the uh, but they use different time slots. So this is the main advantage of this technology. Now bandwidth can be supplied on demand to different users by concatenating or reassigning time slot based on priority. Now, depending on the user's requirement, the bandwidth is allocated to the uh, you know user. As for a very simple example of this, if I give you, if we are suppose using a mobile phone, and if we are trying to download something, then we use a very high bandwidth, then the speed of the operation is very high. Whereas if the phone is idle, whether or not it is connected to the internet, then the consumption of the your internet is quite less. So this is the allocation of bandwidth as and when required. Then we have the code division multiple access. So this is a type of technology where we have a very wide variety of bandwidth, which is also known as spectrum. So it utilizes the whole spectrum. It does not work on a single frequency, but it has a wide variety of frequencies, and these frequencies operate at a particular time. That means all the frequencies operates simultaneously. So code division multiple access technique is an example of multiple access where several transmitters use a single channel to send information simultaneously. That means a lot of frequency variations are there in this type of technology. Now in CDMA, every user uses the full available spectrum instead of getting allotted by separate frequencies. So not a fixed frequency is allocated to a particular user, but he can utilize all the frequencies which are available to the user of the network. Now CDMA is much recommended for voice and data communication. So for voice and data communications, CDMA technology is quite recommended technology because it uses a wide variety of this spectrum. While multiple codes occupy the same channel in CDMA, the users having same code can communicate with each other. So there is a wide variety of frequencies, and user occupies multiple frequencies at the same time, and the other user which occupies the same frequencies can communicate with the particular user. CDMA offers more airspace capacity than TDMA. So CDMA, because of the multiple frequencies, it offers a great you know uh, bandwidth as well as a great communication channel as compared to the TDMA. The hands-off between base station is very well handled by CDMA. So again, the because of the variety of uh, you know uh, these frequencies, the hands-off, that means the connection which is made between the devices, is quite fast. Now we have the space division multiple access. The space division multiple access, or the spatial division multiple access, is a technique which multiple input multiple output architecture and used mostly in wireless and satellite communication. Now this is a combination of using a wireless and a satellite communication, so that any device which is able to communicate globally and to the satellites. Now all users can communicate at the same time using the same channel. Now again, here the using the same channel, all the users can operate on a single frequency. The SDMA is completely free from interference. Now this type of device, any signals coming from the uh, you know space or the satellite, is uninterfered by any type of disturbances like lightning or cloudy or some other thing like rainfall and so on. The single satellite can communicate with more satellites receivers of the same frequency. Now a single satellite can communicate with different satellites with the help of this technology. The directional spot beam antennas are used to hence are used, and hence the base station in SDMA can track a moving user. So as we see the GPS as of now, the GPS technology through which we can identify an object which is moving, identify a mobile which is moving from one place to another with the help of the GPS system. So this is the SDMA technology through which we are able to identify or locate any moving device in the real time. Controls the radiated energy for each user in space. Now, all the energies which are sent and received by the mobile phones are controlled very well and managed very well by the SDMA technology. So, this is all for today. Hope you got it. And again, I am reminding you, please do not forget to leave the comments regarding any query or question that you experience, or any sort of problem uh, you face with regard to learning of this particular topic. Thank you very much. Goodbye.